have you come through. Test. Good here, 1, 2, 3. Okay, kinda. Okay. All right. Whenever we're good to start, we'll start. Are we good? Okay. All right. Good morning, everybody. It is 10:03. We appreciate your patience as we're calling to order our Board of Commissioners meeting. If you would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, we will accept public comment for items not on the agenda. Seeing no one here for public comment, we will go into see if there's any additions to the agenda. If there's no additions we need to add to the agenda at this time. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes from September 6th.
Seconded. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion has carried. Resolution 21 of 2022. John, we'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Before you is a resolution proposing Center County government's declaring intent to utilize electronic bidding to put bids out to the public. We have a platform that is suggested to be used, that's PenBid, which was designed as a collaboration of other counties that have come up with this platform. So we'd like to, this would give you the option to do bidding electronically. It does not preclude you from at any point going out and still choosing to do something by the traditional paper method if you so choose.
Thank you, John. Any questions, comments on
And
this?
this follows all manner for the legalese of the bidding process?
It is specifically designed in accordance with Pennsylvania law
Okay.
and county requirements.
It's a great option. Hopefully we'll see more bidders, more savings, better pricing, and so appreciate.
Transparency.
Yeah, absolutely. And transparency. All the bids that we will do will remain online for anybody to inspect or see. And again, helps folks to understand how we're making decisions here at the county. So appreciate it.
And no fee to the county.
That's fantastic.
I assume the bidding system is set up in such a way that it reduces errors on the bidder's side. We'll be more likely to have complete packages. There won't be missing documents. They'll be responsive to pretty much everything we have in the packet.
Yes, yeah, it
Okay.
required, in order to properly submit it, there's a minimum
Okay.
requirements that you have to submit in order to have it be registered.
Good, because I know sometimes with paper, it's a great bid, but we don't have the proper paperwork in it, so we can't accept it.
It helps with the submission process, yes.
Great.
Well, we will look forward to implementing this and starting to bid electronically in certain cases. So thanks for all the work on this, John, and everybody else who's a part of this. Thank you. We will look for a motion to adopt the resolution.
Motion to adopt resolution number 21 of 2022, declaring Center County government's intent to utilize electronic online bidding.
I will second it.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion on that? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. Okay. Thank you, John. All right, Kristen, we will welcome you up.
Good morning. I'm here for the COVID-19 universal masking policy. We were looking to make some revisions, and I believe you all have copies of that. We had previously stated that when the county was in a red level, we would require masking. We have found out that other large employers around the county are not requiring masks, even in red, but are strongly recommending that masking be done if an employee feels they need to. So we are looking to change our policy to match those of some other large employers here at the county.
Thank you, Kristen. You know, Penn State and SCASD, State College Area School District, as some of our large employers, they're choosing not to do this and haven't. So I think it's only appropriate that we do this and move into that next stage of this policy. And so appreciate the work that's been done on this. Any questions or comments for Kristen on this?
No, I agree with it.
Okay, fantastic. We will look for a motion to approve the revisions.
Motion to approve the revisions to the COVID-19 pandemic universal masking policy.
I will second that.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 The motion is carried. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you. Okay. Sheriff Samsel is with us for our first contract today. Good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning. I'm here to approve the contract for the Center County Airport Authority in our Sheriff's Office to enforce the laws of the airport during operational hours, 7 days a week, 15 hours a day. The rates, we worked with John and Joni, and the rates are acceptable. We offered them something, they offered us something back, so we came to an agreement on this, and it goes a 3.5% increase per year, for a 5-year contract. So I think the last one was 5 years as well. So I'm just asking the commissioners to approve the contract with the Center County Airport Authority.
Thank you, Sheriff. Any questions?
Does this take into account the corrections
Right,
and
yeah.
the new salaries?
Yep, it's a new salary, that's why we went up, and, yep.
Okay.
I think the last rate we just left was $31 and a few cents after. So it's almost a $5 increase, so it covers everything.
Thank you.
And so Brian, the 3.5% is also, does that include a little bit in there for potential healthcare rate of inflation? Because
That's 3.5%, I think everything's incorporated in,
That's what I thought.
yeah, everything,
Yeah.
the 3.5, they came back, I wanted 3, a little higher rate, and 3%, they come back lower rate, 3.5% increase per year. So it's kind of met a little bit on us on both sides.
Healthcare, retirement benefits,
Count,
all
yeah,
of the,
that's what we worked through it.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate you negotiating this and getting this rate for us for the next 5 years. We'll see if there's any other questions, comments. I don't think there's any more. Okay. We'll look for a motion.
Motion to add the contract renewal with the Center County Airport Authority to next week's consent agenda.
I will second that.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion is carried. Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you.
Thank you.
You too. And we'll welcome up Tracy at this time. Good morning, Tracy. How are you?
Good, how are you guys?
Good, thank you. Good, thank you.
I'm here to ask for permission to renew our contract with Iron Mountain. Iron Mountain's our off-site facility for our storage. They include the record security, transportation of our records to and from our facility, and they provide the refiling of our documentations to records. They currently hold over 14,000 of our banker boxes and historical books. So that's all of the Center County government offices. And the contract total is for $68,000. The period is from July 25th, 2022 to July 24th, 2023.
Thank you, Tracy. Any questions?
No, that's
A
pretty
lot of extra
straightforward.
spots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
14,000.
It's a lot of moving parts. We appreciate the work you do for records and making this happen. So we'll look for a motion to renew the contract.
Okay.
Motion to add the contract renewal with Iron Mountain to next week's consent agenda.
I will second
All right,
that.
it's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion, questions? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion is carried. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We will welcome up Krista at this time. Good morning, Krista.
Yes, good morning, everyone. So our insurance carrier, Pennsylvania County's risk pool, is always encouraging us to practice general safety for our citizens and our employees. And to that end, they offer us an annual grant for safety projects. So today, I've come before you with a grant request that I'll need your approval. And what we're working on this time is we have 3 small projects. 2 are at our MDJ's building in Center Hall. You know we own that one. So in the front of the building, we want to install a handrail that will assist citizens up the 2 concrete steps. And then we also want to put a pipe gate in front of an open stairwell on the side of the building. There's concrete steps that go down to the basement, and we just want to cover that with a gate at the top. So those 2 projects are an affordable $850, and then the remaining part of the grant is for our 17 911 tower sites. We've realized that we need some first aid kits there and fire extinguishers and some other items, and so that covers the remaining part of the grant. So in summary, the total amount is $5,183.32, and that is will get us through the fall with our safety projects.
Important things to have on hand and safety improvements as well. Thank you, Krista. Questions or comments?
Is that the sum total, that is the sum total of the grant, there's no more left over?
That is not. The sum total of the grant is $30,000, and it's available from June of this past year to May of next year. So we're kind of chipping away at it right now. So I'll be coming before you before May with more safety grant ideas.
We need to look at, and I had this conversation with my fellow commissioners, is naloxone, the availability within particularly the courthouse, this building,
Yes.
and I guess as we move forward on the Centercrest project, probably over there as well. But they have little naloxone boxes that, you know, that mount to the wall and provide the service in case we need it, so.
Great. We'll take note of that and work on that. Thank you.
Absolutely. Great idea.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Seeing that there's no further questions, we will look for a motion.
Motion to add the contract with the Pennsylvania County Risk Pool to next week's consent agenda.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 The motion is carried. Thank you, Krista.
Thank you.
Thank you. We will welcome up Faith at this time for 5 items for adult services. Good morning, Faith.
Good morning. Okay. Okay, so the first 2 contract addendums I have are with housing transitions, and these are just simply reflective of the most recent contract addendum that we had with DCD to extend the ESG CV1 and ESG CV2 contracts until June 30th of 2023. So there are no changes to the cost, there's no changes to the program. The third here I have is a contract. It's the second contract addendum for Center Helps for fiscal year 2021. We just needed to increase their total allocation by an additional $635 just to cover some remaining costs that we had agreed on for that fiscal year as we wrapped up the block grant. The fourth I'm actually asking to table today. It's a contract addendum with housing transitions. Similar, it was additional expenses for the 21-22 year. And yesterday I just found a calculation error. So I just need to talk to the provider, straighten that out, and then I'll come back with an updated contract addendum. That said, there aren't any costs that we haven't already paid or really need to address. It's just the technicality of it. The last one is a contract addendum with housing transitions for the rapid rehousing program, again for fiscal year 21-22 that's about to wrap up. We tried to, in the past, we would take about $1,000 out of the admin for adult services for some different travel that's associated with the grant. That travel in the past couple of years has been non-existent because of the pandemic and things going virtual. So we really kind of leave that up to the provider if they can utilize it. And so we just we just change the contract again. That's as simple as that. That's it. Yep.
Faith, any questions on any of those items? Okay. We will look for a motion to add to next week's consent agendas, item 1 through 3 and 5.
Motion to add the adult services items 1 through 3 and 5, tabling item number 4 to next week's consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to table 1 item and move to the consent for other items. Any final discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 The motion is carried.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Faith.
Appreciate it.
All right, we will welcome up Natalie for letter of agreement and a lease renewal agreement as well. Good morning.
Morning. So the first item is a letter of agreement with Community Services Group. As you know, we received a grant almost exactly a year ago this week to look at the possibility of implementing a crisis residential program. And so this letter of agreement really kind of spans from January 1 to June 30th of this past year. The expenditures that were necessary as we developed this program. So some of the staff time it's needed, some of the workload that they've needed to do with all the logistics of working both with our local government as well as the state government as well as our managed care company on this. And so as we were progressing kind of into the next fiscal year, we realized the letter of agreement would just outline that their spending has to align with the spending that the grant is allowable expenses, and whatever those expenses are, we could cover under this. Typically, our contracts have details about the service description and rates, and until all those are finalized, that's why we're doing a letter of agreement. So then the second item is, I will speak about it, but John, our administrator, worked on this heavily. This is our lease renewal agreement with Dale Summit Acquisitions to provide our Summit Park office space. So this is in particular to our MHID office as well as our adult services departments reside up there. And so this lease was currently to expire September 30th. Of 2022. So this renewal allows it for 2 years, October 1, 2022 to September 30th of 2024. And it does allow a 3-month extension if we need to go beyond that. And then the lease amount increases annually based on consumer price index percentage. So
Is there a cap on that CPI?
4%
Okay.
is the cap.
Okay,
Perfect.
okay, good. That's great.
Yes, so anywhere from, it's a minimum of 2 to a maximum of 4.
Perfect.
All right, thank you. Any other questions or comments on either of those items? Okay. And again, just to notate, that end date for that lease space is right around the time we would be transitioning to Centercrest. So that's why we were just finishing up a 10-year lease with them, and we appreciate them working with us to get it down to a 2-year, roughly. So it's been a good process, so,
Then,
okay.
after the vote, if I could just have a moment,
Sure.
I have some comment then after
Okay,
the vote.
all right, sounds good. We'll look for a motion to add these to next week's consent agenda.
Motion to add the mental health, intellectual disability, early intervention, drug and alcohol, items 1 and 2 to next week's consent agenda.
I will second that.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion or questions on these items? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Please, Commissioner.
I just wanted to say, I think I speak for the whole board when I say that thank you for the great job you did and a lot of the other folks in the Human Services division of our organization and the not-for-profits in regard to the behavioral health public hearing that was held out at CPI last week. I think that was a tremendous opportunity for us to talk about to the state some of the needs that we have and some of the opportunities we would have for the folks that aren't out there that are aware of this. In the state budget, there's $100 million being allocated toward behavioral health, and we, Center County, was lucky enough or fortunate enough to have the opportunity to opine on some of the uses of that, and I think it was a very well-received conversation, but I want to say thank you, and again, I think I speak for all of us, and
Oh, yeah.
job well done.
Absolutely.
So, and thanks to CPI for hosting the event, which allowed us to do it. And it was
Absolutely.
big, I think, very good stuff, so thank you.
I think everybody in the room did a nice job of representing not only Center County, but we had the weight of representing rural counties as well. And I think that was well done by the partners we were able to bring into the room that day. And my understanding, it was well received by the commission.
They seem very receptive.
Yes. So let's see over the next 3-4 weeks how that moves forward. So.
Yes, it was a quick time frame, and pulling all that together was always something that we appreciate you doing, Natalie, and
Sure.
getting everybody in the room in the comments as well. Really showcased us well. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Our staff and the nonprofits work with wonderful job. Everything was on point. And to what Steve was mentioning, the commission seemed very receptive to our testimony. It was wonderful.
Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
You
for
bet.
that.
Sure.
Thanks.
One final contract today. John, we'll turn it to you.
Thank you. The district attorney's office is seeking a contract with Thomson Reuters to utilize their Clear online investigation software, which can be used to gather records on an individual or a corporation, basically like a search engine that gathers in a bunch of data relative to any activity to a particular person or entity. So they are requesting a contract total of $9,747.12 for the period of November 1st, 2022 through October 31st, 2027.
Thank you, John. Any questions or comments? All right, seeing none. Look for a motion.
Motion to add the contract with Thomson Reuters to next week's consent agenda.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. John, thank you. We have today's consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve this week's consent agenda.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion has carried. 2 liquid fuel and fee for local use requests. We have the first one as considering the approval of the liquid fuels and fee for local use for Snowshoe Borough in the amount of $84,094. And this is for West Sunset Ave reconstruction. Also looking for approval of the liquid fuels fee for local use application for Howard Township in the amount of $55,000 for Mount Eagle Road, Township Route 535. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the liquid fuels and fee for local use items 1 and 2.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion?
I did want to mention this. It's the Snowshoe Festival this Saturday, antique car show, and lots of other great things happening up at the campground in Snowshoe.
Thank you for the, very fitting as
Yeah.
we are giving money to Snowshoe, so. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion on that? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion has carried. Okay, and we'll turn it to Commissioner Higgins for the check run.
Sure, it was substantially smaller than average check run in the amount of $656,839.73. The check of the week is to Center Region Parks and Recreation for county third quarter funding for their active adult center at the mall. So get a human services one in there for Natalie. So I would like to make a motion to approve the check run dated September 9th.
I will second that.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the check run. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion has carried. Okay. John, anything to report?
Nothing to report at this time.
Okay. Commissioner Dershowitz, over to you.
We have 105,138 registered voters in Center County as of this morning. That is made up of 43,982 Democratic registrations, 142 Green Party, 651 Libertarian, 14,300 no affiliation, and 42,280 Republicans. When you add the 3,783 all other registrants, you get the 105,038 number. That's down 172 from last week's report. And I would like to note that this week's feature party is the Not Sure Party. The Not Sures have 3 members, and if they want to be certain about what's going on, they can call us and ask any questions that they need. So just want to bring that up to date. The feature precinct of the week is Rush West Precinct number 75, which votes at the First Church of Christ in Phillipsburg. It's right along Route 350. And we have the total ballots cast, 188. Voter turnout, well, actually, total registered voters is 444. Ballots cast is 188, and that leads to a 42.34% voter turnout. And I would like to note that the folks that make it happen at Precinct 75, the judge of elections is Deborah Thompson. The minority inspector is Carolyn Meckes. The majority inspector is Brenda Kinjura, and the clerks are Julia Hollum and Shirley Murphy. And again, thanks to the First Church of Christ for allowing us to use their facility. So there you have it.
All right, thank you, Commissioner. Any executive sessions for us to report, John?
The commissioners held an executive session this morning from 9:04 a.m. to 9:44 a.m. to discuss a personnel matter, and there is a need to hold an additional exec session requested to discuss a legal matter.
Okay.
After this.
Okay. Thank you, John. We have our meeting schedule listed on the agenda there. Gary, no questions? Okay. We can always, if you need audio from us outside, we can always do that if you need anything.
You
So.
might do that if you have a few minutes
Yeah,
after the meeting.
absolutely. For those on CNET who have joined us, we should say there may have been some audio challenges, so we hope we have them resolved by the next time we see you all next Tuesday. Thanks for bearing with us. We'll look for a motion to adjourn. I'm sorry, into executive session? Okay.
Motion to head into executive session at 10:26.
I will second that.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Thank you all.